Hey guys, today I'm going to make a lasagna in my toaster oven. So let's get toasting. I had never made lasagna before, but I tried this out the other day and I thought that it turned out pretty good. I used this oven-ready lasagna. You don't have to boil that first, so it works great for the toaster oven. And I kind of just followed this recipe on the back, used that as my guideline. So along with that, that's a 9-ounce box. I'll write all the ingredients in the description. But then 2 24 ounces of pasta sauce. This is Classico Traditional. That's really good taste on sauce. I like that sauce a lot. It takes some shredded mozzarella cheese. That's an 8-ounce bag. And that recipe called for ricotta cheese, but I went with low-fat cottage cheese, and I thought that was good. So this is a 16-ounce container. And then also 1 pound of ground beef. This is 90% lean, 10% fat. And first thing you have to do is brown this. So I'm just going to put it in this 10-inch cast iron skillet and brown it in my toaster oven. I spread that ground beef out in my cast iron skillet, and it'll kind of stick together when it cooks, but once it's cooked I'll just chop it up more. This is some kosher salt I'm seasoning it with. So a little bit of that, and I'm going to use a little bit of Johnny's seasoned pepper. I like that. If you don't have this, you can probably just use some regular pepper and it'll be fine. And also a little bit of onion powder. Now I'll just get that into the toaster oven and let it cook. I'm setting my oven to bake at 450 degrees Fahrenheit, so pretty much just turning the oven all the way up. And I'll just let that meat brown. You can actually do that on the stove if you'd rather, but I'm going to use the toaster oven. I'm going to cook my lasagna in this 8x8 baking dish, and the recipe says to spray it with a little bit of cooking spray, but I don't have any, so I'm just going to wipe it with some cooking oil. That will help prevent everything from sticking. While the meat is browning, we'll start laying out the first layer of the lasagna here. I always thought lasagna was kind of hard to make, but it's really not that bad. At least this recipe's not. So you just put some of the pasta sauce in the bottom of the dish there. And this pasta sauce, not pasta sauce, this lasagna, it's flat. If you've never seen it, I've never used this kind. I've never seen that kind. I've always seen the kind you have to cook. So I'm actually going to break the, oops, it broke the whole thing, but I meant to just break the corner off so I can lay it in there, because the dish has round corners and they kind of don't, the square corners don't fit too well, but there we go. There's our first layer right there. And once the meat is done, we'll lay on some meat and cheese, and then just keep making layers until the dish is full. It's been 15 minutes, so let's check on the meat here. I think that looks pretty good. See all the fat that's kind of cooked out of it, and it looks brown, so I'm just going to pour that fat off of there. I drained the excess fat off of this ground beef here, and see how it kind of all sticks together. It's like a big burger patty, so you kind of have to chop it up. So I'll just do that. And, you know, also taste it and see how your seasonings are. Add more salt or seasonings if you think it needs more. My ground beef's all chopped up here. Now we just start layering it on there. So we'll put some of that on that layer there. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then this is the shredded mozzarella cheese. I put a little in a bowl so I won't have to stick my dirty hand in the bag of cheese. I don't want tons of cheese, so I'm just going to go that much, but you can go as much as you want. If you like cheese, you can pile it on. And then this is the low-fat cottage cheese, so we'll just spread some of that on there. And we'll just kind of do each layer the same way like this. Kind of spread it around a little bit. I kind of like the cottage cheese rather than the ricotta cheese. I think maybe it's just a little bit lighter, which I don't know. It's up to you. You can do it however you like. Now we start, add a little bit more sauce to that. Make sure the the pasta is moist. You need the moisture for the the pasta to cook. So I add a little sauce to that like that. And then, whoops, there goes my lid. And then put another layer. Okay, I had those going this way, so I think I will turn these the opposite way just to sort of tie it together a little bit better. Getting a little bit better at breaking these corners off without breaking the whole thing. As soon as I said that, I broke a big chunk off. Oh well. There we go. Now we'll just keep the layers going until the whole dish is full, just the same way. This looks pretty good here. I used all the ground beef, so 1 pound of ground beef. I used the whole container of cottage cheese. There's 3 layers of noodles, so this will be the 4th layer right on the top. So that will be the top. And I think on this layer, so I keep cracking these. Okay, that is the final layer. So on this, I used 1 jar of spaghetti sauce. So I'm just going to fill up the rest of the container with this as much spaghetti sauce, or pasta sauce rather, that will fit. And then once that is done, I'm just going to sprinkle some more of that shredded mozzarella on top. I'll cover it with foil and we'll get it into the oven. It took about 1.5 jars of sauce. It's about how it came out when I did it the other day too. Now I'll just sprinkle the rest of this grated mozzarella on top. And then I'll cover that with some foil and we'll get it into the toaster oven. The recipe on the box says to cook this at 375 degrees Fahrenheit, but that's in a regular oven. A toaster oven doesn't get quite as hot. So I turned the oven all the way up to 450 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'll just keep an eye on that and let you guys know how long it takes to cook. It's been 45 minutes, so I just pulled this out to check on it. Some of my cheese stuck to the foil a little bit, but it looks like it's done. I stuck this thermometer in it, and it looks like the pasta is soft. So now I'm just going to put it in there uncovered for about 5 minutes or so until the cheese melts. I'm just going to add a little bit more cheese to that spot since some of it got stuck to the foil and came off. Alright, we'll get it back in there and then we'll pull it out and give it a taste test. Let's cut into this and see how it looks. I don't know if I can get a piece out without it all falling apart, but we'll see. I kind of let it cool off just a little bit here. Okay. Alright, wow. Looks good. Alright, let's see how this turned out. That looks pretty hearty. Alright, here we go. That turned out really good. That's only the 2nd lasagna I've ever made, but this one even turned out better than the last one because I added more cottage cheese to it. I like that better. Wonder if Annie will eat lasagna. I put a little tiny piece on a plate for her. We'll see what she does with it. There you go, Annie. Well, looks like it's Annie approved. She's licking it all up. That turned out really good. Someone challenged me because I cooked a frozen lasagna in one video, and someone said, you know, you can do better than that. Try making your own. And, you know, I tried it, and actually, I'm really happy with the way that turned out. So, cooked that on high for 45 minutes, covered with foil, pulled the foil off, let it cook for like 5 more minutes just to kind of melt the cheese on top. Turned out perfect. The noodles were perfectly cooked. Really good flavor, nice and hearty with the cheese and the ground beef in there. Really happy with that. Thanks for watching. See you guys.